Hey y'all, this is Cindy. I'm the Tireless Tangler, and you've arrived at day 90. Oh my gosh, 90 of the 100 Days of Zentangle Project 2020. Thank you guys so much for being with me the last 90 freaking days. You guys are awesome. Thank you. So today's special tangle for day 90 is a brand new one from Zentangle Patterns. It is called Virya by Priya Sabhlok. She is from India, and this is, according to her, a Sanskrit word that means energy. Let me put that up here, energy, so I don't forget later when I'm looking at these. All right, so let's get started on the step out. Okay, so Virya starts with 3 orbs. And they're going to be sort of not too small, okay? Sort of like this. And then we're going to connect these with a straight line, or in my case, straightish. Okay? Now, in the end, you can do what you want with these orbs, but I'm going to leave them blank right now. Several of her variations have blacked in orbs, but again, that is something you can choose. And as most really nice tangles, this can be varied in a lot of different ways. So let me show you on as it is on the step out first, and then we'll explore some of those variations. So in the step out on Zentangle Patterns, at this point, she starts like this. Okay? Then she connects them with sort of a triangular shape. And these can be as large or as small as you like, okay? But sort of like a kite shape, one end broad and at the ends narrow, okay? Then we're going to aura or echo actually. We're going to echo each of these lines, which are going to start at the points and stop at the points. Okay? So once again, aura. Like this. All right. What's happening in here is she puts a little sort of diamond shape and inks it in. She also has examples where this is rounded. So of course you may do as you wish. And she has them sort of they should angle down and start and stop on the line like this in a more flowy way. Okay, so the next thing, we're going to add elements on the top and the bottom, and we're going to do this sort of flower petal thing. Like this. Yeah, I'm going to turn it over. We're going to draw that again. Now I'm getting smaller on each one, but you don't have to do that. Some of the variations have those jagged at the top, sort of zigzagged, and that's a fun thing. Okay, so let me make sure I didn't forget any steps here, and I don't think I did. So this is your basic tangle. Now, what you do with this, of course, is lots of stuff. You can put this as a border. So this is one section of what it would be. And so you would use this as the first of your dots if you were continuing and move out from there. Okay, so let's look at a couple of these variations. Okay, so again, I'm going to start with my orbs. All right, connect them with a straightish line. Whoa. Okay, I said straightish. Work with me here, people. Okay, so now one of the variations she has is to round these. Okay, and fill these with echo lines. Sort of like this. Okay. Maybe put one more like this and sort of even the size out. There's nothing perfect about any of this, okay? And then, if you want, you can, let's see, where's my center line? You can do these sort of elongated orb oval things that sort of match the shape of the outer lines. Have that. And then you can put in your flower shapes. Or your embellishing. And you can do it that way. Okay, so that's another one. Quite a bit different looks between these two. All right, let's do maybe one more. I just want to get your creative juices flowing today. And she has some really nice variations on here. I think there are 1, 2, 3 different variations. And as I played with the variations, I realized there was actually a whole lot more that could be done. Let's try this way. I'm not sure drawing in the lines second is the best plan for me, but we're going to see. So another one of the things that she did was she changed the angle at which this was drawn. So instead of doing the up and down kite shapes, she did the kite-shaped tops over here and brought the long end into the center like this. And of course, you can set this up just like the other ones, but everything is opposite. Right? And, you know, if you're going to be really clever about this, you could shape these middle sections to mirror or match these inner shapes. So make it like this for the center. Then you have accentuated the opposite shapes or different shapes. And you could do it like that. Now, another one of the things, and of course you can add more of these echo lines to fill it out if that's what you want. These are just some really rough examples. Okay, so I'm going to do this. And then sort of do this number. Like this. That would be a completely different look. And again, I did that just by making these radiating lines come out. and making those whatever height I want them, and then doing that little V-shaped dip in the center like this. And so that one is wild and crazy, and I like it. I think, yeah. So let's get started on our tile. Today I'm going to be attempting to work in black and brown together. My issue always with this technique is that I forget to change and then I have a problem. So we're going to see what happens today. It will be at the very least entertaining, as always with me. Or maybe not. Okay. So black and brown PNs is what I'm using today. And this is such a pretty tangle that I'm trying to decide how to do this, whether I want to draw in brown or black. I also want to do a variation on something that she did on a Zentangle tile in her step out art on tanglepatterns.com. And that was that she had this tangle radiating out from a center point. So basically, she had her dots, her center dots all in a circle. And then she had the spines coming out in all directions. Now, I don't know how that's going to translate to a square tile, but I think I can do it. And the cool thing about the way that she set that up was that as she had her dots in the center, she also had dots on the edges. And in order to, and as a result of that, the dots on the edges could become the sides for borders. And so she did hers in the round, and I'm going to do mine on the square. We're going to see what happens, okay? Now, I think before I get started, I do want to draw in a border, and it'll just be a regular border, but I want to make sure that I've got just a tiny bit of edge between this and the tile edge, okay? Sort of a little border. And again, I do better with these, especially the straight ones, if I do not use dots, because I get them, because I'm matching the edge of the tile instead of trying to guesstimate where the dots go. So when I'm doing straight edge borders, that's how I tend to draw them. Okay, so I did this in order to sort of help myself not to run off the paper. So I think I've decided to draw this in black and embellish in brown. We're going to see how that goes. All right. And so I'm going to start with 4 dots in the corner of my border. All right. And so what I'm going to have is 4 elements of this pointing in towards the center. Okay. And so I'm going to put my other circle or other orbs right next to each other. There's going to be 4 of them. I may or may not black these, and these need to be in a straight line from the corners. Okay, I didn't quite get mine straight, but it's going to be okay. I probably will add some orbs around here, but I'm going to save that for later. Okay, so now what I'm going to do is I'm going to draw my line straight to the edge. And yes, I know I need a center dot for each one of these, but I have decided I'm going to black my orbs. And so I think it's going to be easier for me to have a nice straight line if I just add those orbs in after I draw the line. So about halfway. Yeah. Now again, it does not have to be perfect, which again for me is a great thing. All right, takes a lot of pressure off. So I'm going to do these with the standard step out version, okay? And the one thing that I'm going to change as I draw that version is I'm going to dispense with the little hatch, with the little short lines coming out diagonally. And I'm going to draw my element in one stroke on each side as the kite. Okay, not sure I got that very well. That should be up here more, but that one is going to be fine. There, that's probably better. We're not going to worry about it. It's going to be fine. All right, so I need to come out here and go down, and come out here and go down, right? And I may adjust this some by putting this outer section here and making this the aura. I think I can get away with that a little bit better. And then, something like that. Anyway, okay. So now I'm going to draw in my aura lines. All right. And I'm going to, I think I want to add some extra aura lines since I've made these elements fairly large. Okay. And then I'm going to make these match the area shape. Sort of like that. I do like that with more aura lines in there, or echo lines, I should say. And then I'm just going to match this blacked in or inked in thing. And see what I did? I already forgot to embellish in brown. Crap. All right, so we'll do brown in between maybe. We'll see. We'll see. Okay, so, all right, when you make a mistake or something that you consider a mistake, what do? You repeat it. That's what you do. Now, these are never going to be perfect. Now, some of you have a much better spatial ability than I do as far as setting up your elements. I know that's an issue that I have. I'd like to blame stuff on that, but really it's just me, I think. Okay. And yes, I know I haven't done the central elements yet. I want to draw in these and then see where I'm at. Now these echo lines in here really are cool and effective. And by blacking in this central element, the center element, that adds a lot of drama and interest, so that's cool. Simba's getting after some flies. I don't have much of them that come in, but sometimes they do. Okay. So again, I'm going to do this on these other two. Draw these in whatever way it is that you get the most consistent results. Okay? These types of situations can be hard for some. And I do like these with that extra echo line. Makes these a little bit more dense, and that's what I like. And if you like them to be a little bit lighter and less intense, then that's okay too. It is your art. You do it however it makes you happy. All right? All right, let's do that over here. All right. And the last one. These are getting easier and better as I go here. Oops. All right. Oops. There. Now, one of the things that I would love to play with on this is varying the shapes here. I think you could do a lot of fun things. But you guys play with this. Let me know what you've decided to come up with. There, okay. Okay, so there is one thing that I could do by shifting colors. So let's do that. I think I'll draw in my middle elements in brown and then see what happens, okay? Like this. Shift that. Let's do it this way first. And we'll turn the tile and we'll do it down. Okay. Now I think this is more effective if this part is taller than the edges of these. However, as always, you can do things as you wish, and it is a different look. So if you want to play with that, I encourage you to go ahead. Make that first initial one kind of skinny and tall, and then just work your way down from there. Okay, now I'm going to turn my tile upside down, or just shift it. Tall and skinny. And make those echo lines out from there, getting shorter each time. Okay. Shifting your tile. I hope that you guys are clear on why we turn our tiles. I had kind of a, I won't call it hateful comment, but I had a disparaging comment back on Could Do, I think. That was more recent. The comment was more recent. The Could Do was number 2 in our playlist for this project. And they said that all of this, what was the comment? Something about all of this apparently pointless flipping the tile. And I hope everybody is clear on why it is that I'm always telling you to turn your tile. I feel like I have explained that many, many times. I just want to make sure that I'm doing my part in helping you guys understand this, which is that shifting your tile has to do with getting consistent pen strokes, making the same stroke over and over. All right, so now what we can do is I can put a dot here and a line here and make a huge element on the side and make it maybe a different variation than these in the center. Let's look at this. And I'm sort of thinking I'm going to do that. But right now, what I'm thinking about is this center area. And I haven't decided yet what I'm going to do. So what I'm going to do, I think, is go ahead and, do I want one long one or do I want to put two in here? Two smaller? I think that might be best. So I'm going to divide that in half, this string line, and then divide it in half again. And put that here so that it matches up with this dot on the end, okay? And so this one is going to have to come down a little bit, but I think this will be okay. All right, so then I'm going to hook these up with a line that may or may not be straightish. Okay, and let's see what we do from here. Oh, I was going to change that, wasn't I? Well, we'll do something else different. Okay, like this. And then we'll do the same here. I'm going to keep these fairly narrow. Because I don't want these all encroaching over here. Now, if I put these types of edges on with the little petal things, that might encroach a bit, but let's go ahead and see what will happen here. All right, I'm gonna switch out. Now on this, since I'm using the PN on the inside of this, I'm using a very light pressure so that I'm not overwhelmed with black ink here in the middle. Okay. Something like this. And then I think I want to try my little V-shaped thing over here, and I'm going to do this in black. Okay. Two more short. So this is where I'm at, and then I'm going to V these tops. Like this, which I think is a really cool deal. This idea came from one of our recent patterns. I just can't remember which one. All right, something like that, which is cool, I think. And then let's ink these. I think my jelly roll will have to come in here and help me. And let's make this a little bit larger. Something like that, okay. So now, let's do this again. So let's see, the center would be about here. And I made that too tall again. It's all right. So Once again, got that out of order. Okay. Okay. Oh, I forgot something over here I wanted to add. By switching from black to brown and back again, adds a pretty cool dimension to this. This is even a cooler effect if you do it on a Renaissance tile, which is the tanned tile. It sort of looks parchmenty. I feel like my paper has minty breath now. But that's just me, guys. It's just me. All right, so now let's draw our elements in. All right. Okay. I'm sorry I'm a little quiet today. It's the anniversary of my Sean's death, and he took his own life 4 years ago, which is how I ended up with the little one. And Sean was Mari's guardian before he died. He was Mari's uncle. And yeah, Caden's dad. I'm still pretty angry at him for what he did to these boys and how that made them feel. And so I struggle with this and struggle to have positive things to say, and that makes it difficult for me to chatter, and sometimes this time of year it's really difficult. I just want to encourage you, if you have someone in your life that talks about suicide, that you take that step, get them help, whether they want it or not. Because the world is not a better place without them. Their problems are not going to go away if they take their lives. You're just going to foist them off on someone else. People say that suicide is not selfish, but I disagree. And quite honestly, that's not my place to disagree, since I wasn't, well, anyway, it's just the devastating effects on the people around you are, I don't feel like, worth what you have done. Now, I may take this little rant out. My life was forever changed by the decision that he made to take his life. His sons and Mari's lives were forever changed by that decision. And not for the better. And while I feel like at the end of the day, Mari is better off with me than he would have been with Sean, the devastation of that trauma to that little boy, to all those little boys, not worth it. You know, he is my kid's hero. And that scares me a little bit because I don't want any emulating going on in this area. I feel like Sean's decision to take his life was made easier by the fact that one of his friends killed themselves when they were young, and Sean was there when it happened. And I think those things change you. So if you have someone in your life, someone who won't talk to anybody, someone who says they're going to do something like this, don't tick it off to just talk. Call the National Suicide Prevention Hotline if you're in the U.S. and get that person help. All right, that's enough of that. Let's draw some more of these in. Now I am going to come back through here and add some elements here, but I want to go around and get the same setup going all the way around and take a look at things and make those decisions from there. All right? I'll try to be less serious. You guys be you. And it'll all be right. Once again, I've got that in the wrong place. I just keep wanting to elevate to the line here. Okay. These orbs are getting bigger every time too, have you noticed? Okay, so let's draw in our elements. And I'm tempted to change it up here on the last two sides, but I think I won't. This is going to go behind this other element, but I think that's going to be all right. Okay. Okay. All right, so here we are. Let's do our black aura. Okay. I'm listening to that, what is it, Franz Liszt's, no, Tchaikovsky's Liebestrom. I've got it running in my head, so that's what we're going to listen to today, is some classical piano music. Some of my favorite classical music is piano music. I wish that I were able to find more choices than just the few that I have. However, I found some that are pretty good, so I like that. Okay, middle element here, these, and then two shorter ones, and then dip down. What did we just draw that was like this? I don't know. Guys, my brain is about half the size it was when we started. Oh my goodness. When I start working ahead on these, I lose control completely of my life. I no longer know what day it is or anything else. So, all right, one last side to get this element in. This is extremely busy. We've got a lot of lines going on. And so we're going to have to find a nice fill pattern that will work for this. Oh, I got it too high again, didn't I? All right, let's switch. Oops. All right. All right, I won't sing. It's tough. Okay. The only trick to this is keeping your eye on which direction these are supposed to be pointing, and the rest of it is pretty simple. All right, now all right, let's get this middle thing in, and then we will see where we're at and reassess. That fly better run for its life. Simba is on patrol today. Okay, so Let's take a look at this. Zoom out a little bit. Although this is pretty zoomed. All right. So now, let's see. What can we do to keep this from getting all crazy? So right now, I am going to be focusing on finishing touches. One of the things I want to do is take my black PN, and I'm going to draw in a couple more orbs here, 4 I think. I'm just going to put them in my gaps. You probably won't have these if you do this on the round. I don't know why I bothered to do this. My highlights are always in different spots, so I always have to come back in with my jelly roll, which is fine. I end up with interesting results this way. Okay, so well, I can't really fit one in here, can I? Okay, so I have a vaguely roundish shape. And I'm going to switch to my brown PN. I haven't decided if I'm going to fill all this in with brown yet. Well, I'm going to fill in the center portion and see how that looks. Okay, that's a little better. Now, I think up here, I'm going to put these small little sort of flowery looking things like this. And I'm going to do that in brown. All right. And this is extremely busy. There is a lot going on here. I think if I had done this in a Zentangle, it might not quite be so overwhelming, but we're still going to follow through, finish it, and see what we end up with. I'm considering my corners right now, so let's finish what I'm doing and not get distracted. Okay, not too big, Cindy. Okay. Yeah, that's a lot of work. Okay, just a couple more. One more. We'll be done with this one. Okay, so now I'm going to put an aura on the inside of all of this, and I'm trying to decide what color to make that aura. I think I'm going to do it in brown. And I think I'm going to start with one of these center elements. And I'm just going to take my time Do a nice neat aura. Now don't panic. I understand that this is a lot of lines, a lot of stuff. There's a lot of elements in here. I think shading is going to make a huge difference on this. I think the fill pattern is going to make a huge difference, and the fill I'm talking about is what I decide to do on the inside of each of these big R's that I'm making in these center sections. I'm very tempted to either put little tipple in here, so fill it with orbs and then ink around them. I'm afraid to do anything more exciting than that, because any further line work is, I think, going to make this untenable. The other option is to put brown ink filling each of these in. That's going to drop the background back and make it look more interesting, or bring the foreground forward. Of course, there's still a lot going on in the foreground. I think, get my 05 in brown. See what color that is. This may be closer to the, no, I'd say that's about the same as the pen. So let's do it. I'll speed this part up for you and see you on the other side. Okay, so this is where we are now. I'm going to let these inked sections dry so that I don't mess anything up. But after that, then I'm going to take a brown colored pencil and go over these areas. And what that's going to do is it's going to even out the color gradient here, okay? So that it looks not like pen strokes, but smooth. Excuse me. So now I am trying to make a decision about these corners. I could do petal and then echo those all the way down on each side, or I can leave them as they are, and I haven't decided yet. So what I'm going to do first is take my pencil and shade for a little bit and see what I want to do with this. Actually, I'm wondering if I want to shade partially with a brown pencil. I may want to do that. But first, I'm going to go in on all of these big elements, and I'm going to do graphite in the section where the lines converge at each tip, or at each end. Yeah. I'm not going to do that on these yet because I want to wait, and I probably use a brown pencil, but for the black stuff, I want to use graphite. Okay, so I'm just going to darken each of these spots where all of these lines are converging, and these brown ones that are here are going to probably get some of the benefit of the graphite. We will see. And notice on the shading, I'm working from the center out in up and down strokes and not side to side. Okay, so let's blend this much and see where we're at and make a decision then about where we're going next. Okay, and any spots where it's too much, again, I can bring in my mono zero eraser and sort of play with that. I forgot that side. I need to do in here. I'll come back and get that here in a sec. I forgot that one too. Several here. Okay, so that already helps, I think. Let me get here. Okay, so now let me hit those spots that I missed here on the inside. And again, these are natural places to shade because this is a place where your lines converge. Okay. And again, this is the first of the shading passes that I will make. I always go over things more than once. That gets you a much nicer, deeper, more dramatic shade. And again, if I get too much on, I can come through with my mono zero eraser and lift some of that pigment out. Makes a big difference in how this presents as finished. All right. think I got it. Both sides, both sides. Okay, I definitely will use my mono zero on that one. Okay, so now what I want to do is find a brown pencil. It's going to be a Verithin that I can use to shade on the brown areas. And let me see what I've got in the brown arena here. Let's try this terracotta that we used, or that I thought about using back. It's a little bit more brown than the Tuscan red, and I could use the Tuscan red, but I think I want to stay subtle with this, and so I think I'm going to stick with this terracotta. This is a Call Erase by Faber-Castell. This, and I have had these for many, 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 many years. At that point, I thought, ooh, erasable colored pencil, how can you go wrong? Well, you can. It depends on what you're using them for again. And these are perfect for adding hints of brown or hints of color without overwhelming the whole thing and really making it a coloring project, which is something I try to avoid. Not that I don't enjoy coloring. Don't think I don't have some amazing coloring books around here that I love to work in when I have spare time. The problem is I have not had time to work on them in years. Should tell you something. And that's not necessarily a bad thing, because I love what I'm doing. What do you think of this? Once we blend it out, let's do blend it out. Use my clean end. It's very subtle, but it brings out the hints of brown that I'm using. And again, my eraser will work on this. So I'm not too concerned about stray lines. All right, so what do you think? I think it's going to work, so I'm going to keep going. Now I'm wondering if I should shade with brown here, or if the, if the contrast will work well. I'm just going to add a little bit of graphite here, blend that out, and see how that works together with the brown. This paper stump has one end with graphite and one end for colored pencil, so that's what I'm doing. I'm just switching ends, depending on what I'm working on. And again, I'll use my my eraser to lighten that up. I'm going to move this and hold it out and look at it for a minute. Maybe. The brown ink here really helps take away from the confusion. It sort of finishes that off. So let's go through. I'm going to, since I've got my graphite pencil, I'm going to go through and put a little bit of graphite, and maybe not as much as I used on the last one. Of course, that's how much I ended up with, isn't it? And go ahead and shade those center elements on the sides. And try not to do what I just did, which is go around in a circle. It's a much more natural blend if you move out from there. All right, here's another one. I think that's it. So let's blend those. Okay, so that is pretty overwhelming. I will come in and use my eraser here in just a minute. But first, I want to continue to shade in the brown areas now with my terracotta pencil. And so I'm going to do these, just a little brown on the edges. I think that's going to pop that right out. All right, let's get our tortillon out to shade this and see, or blend it and see where we end up. Okay. I'll be using my Tombow Mono Zero eraser next to clean up some of the pencil stuff that I don't want, probably on the tips of these little petal shapes. I will drag some out along this apex where these corners are. I can't wait to see what you creative people come up with for this. I think that's pretty awesome. It's pretty gratifying for me to go to Instagram, see you guys' art, and go, wow, I wish I'd thought of that. I think that's a pretty awesome thing. That's why I'm just going through here as I will, and I'm not worried about any colored pencil or graphite that gets out of place, because I'm just going to fix it right up. And like here, if I get graphite mixed in with what I'm doing, I can remedy that also with my eraser. Okay. And if your tortillon gets some graphite crossover, then you can always clean that up with your nail file emery board. You can just rub that off, and you can use sandpaper or something like that if you like. Both of those work really well. Some people have sandpaper, some people have nail files. It depends on what you got in your house. Okay, let's see, did I get them all? Okay, now. Well, guys, our last step, and where I'm going to leave you today, is my white jelly roll. That is going to perk this up really great. And, oh, I forgot. I said I was going to do it, and I didn't. There you are. just to keep some of these tips bright. Didn't do the greatest job drawing these in, but it still looks pretty cool. I think if I use this again, I will be very careful with how many elements. I think hers on her Zentangle tile worked really well with this because there was extra room. Or it could just be that she did a better job than me drawing it in. But this is, for me, it's a bit busy. And I don't know. Okay, I can always come back through here as I notice spots later. So that's one of the things I do while I am putting in music and things like that and going over the video several times as I work on it, and I punch in some extra stuff. So now these aren't all going to be perfect, and some of them are going to be non-perfect. I don't know if these little... It's irritating when I get my highlights all in separate sections. I may black these and come back in and do them again. Look at that. It's ridiculous. Come on, Cindy. All right, my new rule, right in the center here. Or center-like. All right. So I will probably ink in these that are not in the right spots. But first I'll let my jelly roll dry. If I got too much in there, I can fix that too. Okay, so I'll definitely be going through here and fixing some of those, inking over it and then putting in a more careful highlight. But for today, this is where I'm going to leave you. I still, of course, have some finishing touches to do, but you get the idea of where we're going. This is extremely busy, but it has a ton of embellishment possibilities. So I hope that you've really enjoyed this video today, and I'm going to see you guys tomorrow for day 91. We just have 9 more days left in our project. I am stoked, really excited about what I've got planned for after that. So I hope that you will still be following along with me and doing some fun projects, and we'll see what happens. All right, guys, I'll see you tomorrow.